My buddy Joey and I have been living the dream at a horse breeding and training facility for 6 years, enjoying the perks of a stunning house on site that's pretty much a mansion by anyone's standards despite its dated decor. It's got everything: 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a master suite that's a jewel complete with a pool and hot tub. Sure, it doubles as a sort of B&B for clients during the busy season, requiring us to play host and chef, but we absolutely love it here. While I tend to enjoy my own company and chill at home, Joey's the social butterfly with cash to burn, living up the single life whenever he's not buried in work. Despite our different social lives, we're pretty much inseparable at home, often just kicking back, gaming, and relaxing together. Joey's pretty clear about not wanting anything serious with the ladies he meets, although he's always juggling a few at any given time, much to the confusion of some who think they're heading towards something more serious. Recently, one of Joey's regulars, Kelly, dropped by while he was busy. I welcomed her in, making small talk and offering some company. The conversation veered into personal territory, with Kelly probing about my living situation and hinting at the oddness of Joey having a female roommate while supposedly being in a relationship. I clarified it was as much my house as his and that I wasn't planning on leaving. Her suggestion that Joey should not be living with a woman roommate at his age, especially while in a relationship, caught me off guard. I countered, slightly amused, pointing out her misunderstanding of their relationship status and perhaps her standing in Joey's life. My blunt honesty didn't sit well with her, leading to a fallout between her and Joey after she stormed out. Joey was just as surprised by her assumptions about their relationship, and in the end, he was relieved it ended when it did, especially since he hadn't ranked her as highly as she might have thought in his life. Despite a coworker thinking my response was out of line, I stood by my words, defending our shared home and clearing up any misconceptions, albeit with a touch of unexpected truthfulness about where she stood in Joey's life, apparently not quite at the top. So, the question lingers: was I wrong for setting the record straight? My buddy Joey's living setup and love life could easily be mistaken for a plot straight out of a reality TV show. He's got this massive house thanks to our job at a horse breeding facility, and let's just say, it's not just the horses that keep him busy. Joey's a magnet for drama, juggling relationships like a pro, which honestly baffles me given the sheer energy that takes, especially when you throw in the demanding work with the horses. Kelly, one of Joey's more regular flings, seemed to have big dreams about their casual setup turning into her big break. She saw Joey, his impressive income, and the so-called mansion we live in, and thought she hit the jackpot, maybe even dreaming about ditching her job. But reality hit her hard when she tried to stake her claim over Joey and the house, only to be put firmly in her place. It's a mix of funny and sad to see someone miscalculate their situation so dramatically. Joey's ability to entertain a lineup of women while managing his work with the horses is nothing short of legendary. His stamina is through the roof, making me think he should probably just be upfront on his dating profiles about looking for another mare for his stable, just to avoid any confusion. When Kelly found out she wasn't Joey's number one or even number two, it was a moment of harsh reality for her, but I couldn't help but laugh. It seemed like she thought she could change Joey, make him commit just to her, which is a classic mistake we've seen before. Reminds me of another story where a girl was deluded about her relationship status, trying to make her non-exclusive boyfriend jealous, only to be heartbroken in the end. You can't force someone to change their stance on commitment, a lesson hard learned. On a completely different note, my personal life took a bit of a hit recently due to my half-brother's betrayal. Despite our parents' complicated past, I never held it against him, and we got along fine until he crossed a line with my then-girlfriend. Haven't spoken to him in months. Interestingly, my cat shares a birthday with my half-brother, and I've always balanced both celebrations. However, this year, I opted to fully commit to my cat's birthday bash, sidelining my half-brother's birthday, which certainly ruffled some feathers in the family. Drama seems to follow me not just at work, but at home too. Dad came at me, saying I was being a lousy brother for not making up with my half-brother. I shot back, telling him it was my half-brother who stabbed me in the back, and I wasn't about to play happy families. He tried to guilt-trip me, asking if my cat was more important than family unity. My answer? A resounding yes. My cat wins, hands down, every time. Now, picture this: Three of my aunts, all firmly on Team Mom, are giving Dad the cold shoulder for his past mistakes. But one aunt reckons I went too hard on Dad. Was I too harsh? Maybe, but honestly, the whole situation cracked me up. The idea that my brother and my cat are vying for my attention and the cat is winning? Priceless. My brother's lucky if he gets even half my time on their shared birthday because my cat throws a better party than he ever could. As for Dad, him playing down what my brother did just shows his true colors. Cheating is his style, so of course, he'd shrug off my brother's betrayal. But here's the thing, loyalty is non-negotiable, whether it's family or relationships. And then there's the saga with our school's athletic trainer, Beth. Initially, I thought she was just on a power trip, but boy, was I wrong. The school held a meeting dissecting every complaint against her, and the camera footage told a different story. It turns out the kids were the real troublemakers, throwing fits and hurling insults whenever she laid down the law. This whole ordeal flipped my opinion of her upside down. Like this one time, a student threw a tantrum over a balance test because they had to remove their shoes. Beth stood her ground, professional as ever despite the name-calling and parental backlash. Now, fast forward to my daughter, a sophomore and cheerleader, who knows the drill with Beth. There was a concussion test scheduled, mandatory for her to continue cheering. Beth had given everyone specific times to show up, but my daughter decided her time was whenever she felt like it, strolling in after practice. Beth, already packing up, wasn't having any of it and turned her away. So, here's the scoop. My daughter, bless her heart, threw a colossal tantrum because she couldn't cheer until she passed a concussion test. Beth, the athletic trainer, wasn't having any of it and decided to clock out and start her vacation early. Now, my daughter's sidelined until December, missing out big time because she couldn't follow simple instructions. She was fuming, demanding I take her side and confront the school. But after seeing her antics, I was like, no way. I even checked out the footage to see the drama unfold. My stance. She totally brought this on herself by giving Beth a hard time. My wife's on a warpath, wanting to challenge the school, and they both think I'm the villain here. But seriously, these kids today are something else. It's a win for the school having those cameras. It's the only thing keeping Beth from getting axed over some baseless claims. It's high time these young ones learned actions have consequences, and missing out on something you're pumped about. That's a lesson that sticks. Poor Beth, she's just doing her job and doing it well, despite the chaos. Teen attitudes are a whole other beast when adults aren't around, proving a point about the wild difference between their public and private personas. And let's not even start on how some parents blindly side with their kids without looking at the big picture. Real talk. It's crucial for kids to understand that in the real world, you can't always count on mom and dad to clean up your messes. This whole situation? It's a teachable moment if there ever was one. Now, onto my girlfriend's mom visiting. We thought it'd be nice for her to stay with us, given her tight budget and the rare chance to see the city. My girlfriend did hint that her mom could be a bit of an investigator, but boy, I wasn't ready for the level of snooping that went down. She took a tour of my home office while I was out, and thanks to my hidden Ring camera, I caught her in 4K rifling through my files, trying to crack my safe, and even poking around my laptop. She didn't swipe anything, but man, she went through all my personal and sensitive documents. Talk about overstepping boundaries. Right after I got back from work, I didn't waste any time and told her mom she needed to hit the road. The trust was broken the moment she decided to rummage through my stuff. I even tossed in the possibility of her swiping things, since not all corners of my house are under surveillance. My girlfriend wasn't thrilled about her mom being shown the door and having to crash at a motel, which, by the way, my girlfriend ended up paying for. Despite the video evidence I showed her, my girlfriend thought I was making a mountain out of a molehill. She reminded me that she had given me a heads up about her mom's intrusive habits and somehow suggested it was on me for not locking down my office. But in my book, sending her packing was the only move that made sense. Let's be real, dealing with partners' family members can sometimes throw a wrench in the works, marriage or not. The fact that her mom invaded my privacy and had the audacity to try cracking open my safe? That's just way out of line. I tried to get my girlfriend to see that her mom stepping over the line and then trying to pin the blame on me wasn't cool at all. Brushing off serious boundary crossing with a "I gave you a heads up" doesn't cut it. This was beyond nosy. It was nearly criminal. And if my girlfriend can't see the gravity of her mom's actions, it might just be a sign of bigger troubles down the line. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Her mom digging through my financials given her own money issues? That raises a whole bunch of red flags. It wasn't just a privacy breach. It felt like she was on a treasure hunt for her own gain. Some folks pointed out that I should double down on securing my finances, and they're not wrong. It's a sad truth, but not even family ties hold back some from taking advantage. And if my girlfriend is enabling this kind of behavior, well, it's a slippery slope from there. When we got back from our 2-week getaway, our flight home was delayed, landing us at 10:45 p.m. instead of the scheduled 9 p.m. I live super close to the airport, so hopping on a train gets me home in no time. My girlfriend, on the other hand, usually takes a train and a bus, but she planned to grab a taxi that night because she's not keen on the area where she needs to switch transport, especially late at night. We had separate plans for getting home since we both needed to be at work early the next day, living close to our workplaces. As we landed, I was all set to dash for the train station to catch the 11 p.m. train. I could tell my girlfriend was a bit put off by my plan, though she didn't voice it directly. The plane's delay in unloading meant I missed the chance to sprint for my train, so I stayed with her until she secured a taxi, then caught the last train home myself. Looking back, I wonder if I was being insensitive for initially wanting to rush off. It's not like I completely abandoned the plan to be by her side. The delay sort of made the decision for me. But then again, the thought of leaving her there, even with her taxi plan in place, does make me question if I prioritized my convenience over her safety. Reflecting on this, I can't help but think this might be a small glimpse into potential future misunderstandings. I thought I was being practical about our transportation woes, yet I might have overlooked how my rush to get home could come across as dismissive of her feelings, especially her concerns about safety. Maybe I need to rethink how I balance my eagerness to stick to a plan with being supportive and considerate of her needs and feelings, especially in a new relationship where we're still figuring each other out.